So this is one of two quite serious periods of subconscious processing that's coming to the surface that's got me reflecting on an experience I had in being Madonna, and you can see my video diary about that elsewhere on this channel. I'll put a link at the end of this video. And I've actually been reflecting on what we try to do in this video in recreating the shapeliness, really paying much more attention to that than perhaps we normally do, because of the feminine body, because Madonna is very curvaceous, very shapely. She's obviously very physically fit and a lot slimmer, hugely more energy than I have. She goes running and my goodness knows what her fitness routine must be. But that aside, just trying as best we could to embody some of that, to actually emulate it. And so we used silicone thigh pads, which even after half an hour or so seemed almost to merge, as it were, adhere, not just adhere in terms of sticking, but almost seemed to be connected as a part of my own body. And rather than using breast forms that would normally slip into a bra, we used these sorts of things, which you can tighten and they stick to the skin. And these help to pull in the breasts, essentially. So you can tighten them using this clip in the middle, which has different settings on it. So they're a little bit different to the normal sort of breast forms. They do adhere directly to the skin. And with that sort of pushing in, they adhere to the skin, obviously, but they also create a little bit of cleavage and seem to add to this shapeliness of that part of the body. This sort of pulling in to kind of a natural shape, especially if you're using a bra, as we did. We used a strapless bra in this video. It takes on a form that feels very natural and tricks the consciousness, tricks the mind into believing that, yes, they are bits of silicone or plastic. I'm not quite sure what these are made of. But what's interesting is the mind quite quickly creates its own self-image. And this awareness of having this shapeliness seems to become real, even though there's not actually real blood pumping through veins in those particular appendages, so to speak. So that was very interesting, actually, that even just creating with the effect of padding and other things, an illusion seems to become, in terms of your own body image, in terms of my own self-awareness at a particular time, a part of you, is a part of what you're inhabiting, in a similar way that dresses and the hairstyle you wear and all the rest of it are part of your self-image, of how you're presenting. So that was really quite revealing. I think with this I was also aware, and if you watch the video there's a little bit of humour. It was intended as humour, where I pretend to detach myself, shall I say, of my manhood. And actually, for the sake of the experience in the video, metaphorically, that was the case. I was not consciously aware of my male physicality, if I can put it like that. That kind of was all very transparent and seemed to be important, actually, in getting into this body and into the attitudes and an understanding and appreciation of the attitudes, which, again, is another reflection I've had in another video blog here, of this particular person, this particular body, not to be influenced in my body image, in playing this role, in having a male anatomy. So that was really quite interesting as well. So that metaphoric cutting off, at least for the time of this kind of experience, seemed to be important. I think I was also reminded, I was a little, I don't know, jealousy is quite the right word, but I was reminded of what I don't have. So Madonna and many women are incredibly agile. They are able to raise their legs to the ballet bar. I know some men, particularly obviously professional dancers, are able to do that, and gymnasts and so on. But that took me back to probably what was my very earliest curiosity about the difference between boys and girls when I was in primary school, and seeing the young girls with these very long legs on the gym frames and realizing I didn't have their agility and wishing that I did. So that did come back to me as well. A little bit of a disappointment, but I guess we have to accommodate what we can and we can't do. So this was an adventure that didn't really rely on fancy, outlandish dress, elaborate makeup, lots of there wasn't any jewelry involved. It was very much about form, and in a leotard and dance tights, actually quite limited, if you like, in terms of body covering, really. So that helped, I think, keep the focus on form and shapeliness, and the experience that I had and the reflections that are coming up are very much to do with my impressions of being in that created body, at least for an hour or two.